In the rapid development of diesel multiple units, DMUs, during the 1950s, the nationwide expansion of express and limited express networks began after the October 1961 timetable revision. DMU trains, which ran extensively from major cities to local areas, were well received. However, as their range of operation expanded and societal conditions changed, issues gradually emerged. One of these issues was speed reduction on inclines. By the 1970s, JNR, which had monopolized transportation, began to face competition from private cars and buses. Although there were no highways in rural areas, general national roads were gradually improved, and climbing a 25 per mile incline at about 40 km per hour was not competitive. At the same time, air conditioning became widespread, making it standard for buses and private cars. Unlike EMUs, ensuring air conditioning power was a significant burden for DMUs. The 82 series for express services, as well as limited express services, saw a reduction in output at wheel rim due to the inclusion of air conditioning. Many local lines featured curves with radii ranging from 300 to 400 meters and sections with inclines of 20 to 25 per mile. In such line conditions, conventional DMUs could only reach about half of the curve speed limit, presenting a dire situation. This was a disadvantage in terms of effective track utilization. The introduction of the new series DMUs improved these issues, but did not completely resolve them. A fully motorized 181 series without a dining car could climb a 25 per mile incline at nearly 70 km per hour. However, this was at full throttle, and in the continuous operation at the fifth notch, it could only manage about 60 km per hour. Frequent engine troubles forced a reduction in output even for these high-power engines. Even with the anticipated new series DMUs, they couldn't achieve the curve speed limits of 65 or 75 km per hour. At Ataya Pass, there was a noticeable speed difference between EMUs and DMUs. Particularly with the older series, there was a significant discrepancy. The 455 series Express Zayo had a standard travel time of 39 minutes between Fukushima and Yonezawa, while the Kiha 58 and 28 series Zayo and Dua Expresses took 66 minutes and 15 seconds. Before speeding up with vehicles capable of fast curve passing, there was a strong desire for DMUs that could at least climb inclines at the curve speed limits. This was also the time when gas turbine car tests had been completed, and the consideration for mass production had begun. During the era when gas turbines, known for their high fuel consumption, were traded at the incredibly low price of a few dollars per barrel, despite concerns over crude oil prices due to political instability in the Middle East, there was hope that ignoring fuel consumption and noise would allow for the development of high-performance vehicles surpassing EMUs. The extraordinary lightweight high-power characteristics of gas turbines were expected to solve the performance deficiencies of DMUs at once. However, as JNR's management headed towards bankruptcy, it was not feasible to mass-produce expensive gas turbine vehicles. Existing express and limited express trains using conventional cars could not benefit from gas turbines. In this context, an industry magazine proposed adding gas turbine cars to conventional DMUs to use as boosters. In Germany, tests were conducted to supplement the insufficient output of 2,150 horsepower diesel locomotives by installing gas turbines as boosters, increasing the output to 3,050 horsepower during startup and on gradients. This proposal is based on a similar idea, utilizing the large number of existing DMUs and minimizing the need for new vehicle production. At a time when contradictory terms like compliance struggle and strike ride strike were prevalent, and JNR was experiencing passenger decline due to deficits on local lines and fare increases, low-cost improvement plans without major changes were likely to attract attention. The proposal involved modifying Kiha 58 or Kiha 82 units, replacing the drive engines with high-power gas turbines. The modification plan for the Kiha 82 included removing the toilet and washroom to expand the machinery room, where gas turbines and silencers could be installed. The underfloor space, occupied by the power engine and fuel tank, still had room to extend the silencers. Additionally, tests on the Kiha 391 had shown that longer intake and exhaust ducts provided better silencing effects. Placing the silencers for intake and exhaust near the car ends, and possibly installing the gas turbine under the floor could have reduced the issue of high-temperature exhaust re-ingestion during tunnel starts. In the tests of the Kiha 391, frequent slipping with the 2-axle drive indicated the need for 4-axle drive. While it's possible to drive 2 axles on each bogie for non-tilting trains, a long driveshaft connecting both bogies would be required. This, too, would have fewer constraints without the tilting mechanism. With all axles driven, the output limitations of the gas turbine are reduced, allowing for even higher output than the Kiha 391. The gas turbine to be installed would likely be the same Ishikawa-Maharima Heavy Industries IM100-2R as in the 391. Alternatively, the Kawasaki Heavy Industries KTF-1430 could be used, and even with a higher reduction ratio to match the 82 series, there would be no concern for slipping with all-axle drive. In running tests with the Kiha 07-901 equipped with the KTF-1430, output was reduced to 750 horsepower at the 7th notch to prevent slipping. With all-axle drive, such measures would be unnecessary, allowing the full 1200 horsepower to be utilized. What would happen if one car of the 6-car 82 series formation was replaced with this gas turbine booster? This figure compares the acceleration curves of the original 82 series 6-car formation with an output of 1050 horsepower. The gas turbine, due to its high output, cannot utilize a direct clutch hydraulic transmission, so like the 391, it operates in a single direct drive stage. The gear ratio is increased to match the 82 series, setting the maximum speed at 100 km per hour, which consequently increases the tractive effort. In a full throttle comparison, the acceleration at high speeds is more than double, providing a significant boost effect. However, without a transmission, the effect at low speeds is somewhat lacking. The balancing speed on a 33 per mile incline improves from 28 km per hour to 40 km per hour, and on a 25 per mile incline, it improves from 37 km per hour to 54 km per hour. However, neither meets the curve restriction speed of a 300-meter radius curve. On the other hand, on a 20 per mile incline, the speed improves significantly from 44 km per hour to 76 km per hour, showing more boost effect as the speed increases. For a 20 per mile incline, the notch must be reduced to adhere to the 300-meter curve restriction. Even on a 400-meter radius curve, the 75 km per hour restriction applies. To effectively utilize the gas turbine output, if the gear ratio is modified to achieve maximum output at medium speeds, as was done with automotive gas turbines at the time, what would happen? If the output turbine is modified to run at a speed similar to the gas generator turbine, the gear ratio can be further increased, enhancing tractive effort at low speeds. The axle output of the gas turbine would also peak around 80 km per hour, making it more effective for the frequently used speeds in actual operation, and reducing fuel consumption. Here is a comparison of the 82 series formation when boosted with this gas turbine car. Thanks to a focus on low-speed performance, the balancing speeds improved by 4 km per hour for both 33 per mile and 25 per mile inclines, and by 2 km per hour for 20 per mile inclines. How does it compare to the 181 series? Understandably, even this DMU would lose to the all-M formation of the 181 series on both 33 per mile and 25 per mile inclines. However, at that time, improvements were already underway to reduce the maximum output to around 540 horsepower for the 181 series, meaning they could no longer achieve the performance shown in this figure. While mainline electrification progressed, no prospects for strengthening non-electrified sections emerged. As a result, diesel express trains that could take advantage of the 120 km per hour operation by the 181 series, like the Tsubasa, were no longer likely to be developed. The idea of effectively utilizing the abundant 82 series instead of increasing the 181 series might have been a natural progression. The JNR at the time seemed to be hurtling towards organizational collapse. Despite this, the engineers on the ground seemed to hold many dreams. There were many proposals for EMUs, DMUs, and locomotives, some of which might seem eccentric or delusional. It was an era filled with unfinished technology, fostering a time of diverse ideas and dreams.